Rimuru Go Back in Time by Rimu-chi. FALMUTH Invasion 1. Yuki, S. Pav. I sat alone in my office, the faint glow from the lantern casting long shadows across the room. Kaguli wasn't here. According to Rimuru, she was in Tempest at the moment. It was inconvenient, but soon, if things went according to plan, that wouldn't matter. Falmouth's forces were preparing to attack Tempest, and this time, they would come in full force. Rimuru had no idea of the scale of destruction waiting for him. The trap was set, and if this succeeded, I'd finally be rid of Rimuru. I allowed myself a small smile, fingers drumming on the desk as I thought of what lay ahead. Once Tempest was destroyed, Kaguli would have no reason to stay there. She'd see there was no hope left for them and would return to my side, just as she was meant to. With her back on my team, my plans would move forward more smoothly than ever. But there was still one piece missing, the children. They were with Rimuru now, training under his guidance. They had no idea they were my insurance, the final element in my game. I needed them, one way or another. Luckily, I'd heard whispers that they were going to Ramirez's labyrinth to save kids. I leaned back in my chair, my eyes narrowing as I envisioned the chaos about to unfold. Tempest, Rimuru, even the children, all of them were just pawns on my board. I'd patiently put everything in place, and now, with each move, I was getting closer to my ultimate goal. Yuki, thinking to himself, let the pieces fall where they may. Soon, Tempest will be nothing but a memory, and I'll have everything I need in the palm of my hand. Yuki leaned back in his chair, a smirk forming on his lips as he ran over every step of his plan. The stage was set, and all the pieces were falling perfectly into place. The only thing left to do was wait, and then reap the rewards of his clever manipulation. Just then, Damrata's voice echoed in his mind, breaking the silence. Damrata, telepathic communication, Yuki, the rumor is spreading well. The tale of Rimuru killing Shizu Izawa has reached every corner of the kingdom. The people are starting to whisper, and Hinata's heard it, too. She's enraged. Yuki's smirk widened, pleased at the news. Yuki. Perfect. If there's anyone who'd seek vengeance for Shizu, it's Hinata. She adored Shizu, respected her. This is exactly what we need. Good work, Damrata. Keep feeding that flame. Let her anger guide her next move. Damrata. Understood. But be cautious, Yuki. Hinata isn't one to tread lightly when it comes to revenge. Yuki. That's precisely what I'm counting on. 2 days later, Yuki sat at his desk, waiting calmly. He didn't even glance up when he heard the heavy, determined footsteps approaching his office. The door swung open, and Hinata strode in, her face a mask of fury, eyes blazing as she glared at Yuki. Hinata. Yuki. I need to hear it from you directly. She didn't waste any time, her tone as sharp as a blade. Hinata. Did Rimuru kill Shizu? Yuki took a deep breath, crafting a pained expression as he looked up at her. His voice softened, as if it pained him to say it. Yuki. Hinata, it pains me to say this, but, it's true. He saw her jaw tighten, her hand twitching, every muscle tense and waiting. He chose his next words carefully. Yuki. I heard it from a reliable source. Shizu went to meet him, seeking answers, she thought she could trust him. But something went wrong. Rimuru showed no mercy. Hinata's fists clenched tightly, her entire body radiating a dark, dangerous aura. She leaned forward, her voice barely a whisper but dripping with rage. Hinata. So it's true, Rimuru took Shizu's life. I knew he was hiding something, but this. Yuki nodded, watching as her emotions boiled over. He leaned in, a sympathetic look on his face. Yuki. I understand your fury, Hinata. If I were in your place, I'd feel the same way. I know how much Shizu meant to you. She was special to so many of us. He paused, letting that sink in, then continued. Yuki. But I've heard that Rimuru's returning to Tempest in 2 days. If you're seeking justice, that would be your best chance to confront him. To make him pay. Hinata's eyes hardened, her face taking on a cold, merciless expression. Her voice was low and unwavering. Hinata. I'll confront him, all right. And when I do, I'll kill him and avenge Shizu. Yuki could feel the tension crackling in the air as Hinata turned to leave. But just before she reached the door, she paused, glancing back at him. Hinata. Thank you for telling me the truth, Yuki. Shizu deserves justice, and I'll make sure Rimuru gets what he deserves. Yuki gave her a somber nod, keeping his expression neutral as she left. Once the door shut behind her, His smirk returned, and he leaned back in his chair, a dark satisfaction filling him. Yuki, thinking to himself now, all I have to do is sit back and watch the show. With Hinata's fury driving and Falmouth's army closing in on Tempest, Rimuru doesn't stand a chance. Let them tear each other apart. This is only the beginning. Third person POV. In Rimuru's office, a lively discussion was underway. Shizu, Rain, Shion, Shuna, Soka, Goblina, Gabwa, and Kaguli, Rimuru's fiancés, sat together, chatting animatedly about their beloved leader. Some of them joked about Rimuru's laid-back and playful personality, while others shared admiration for his courage and endless kindness. Even Kaguli, usually the composed one, found herself laughing at one of Shion's colorful anecdotes. Suddenly, the door slid open, and Soe entered, his expression serious. Soe, ladies, I apologize for interrupting, but I bring urgent news. The laughter and conversation immediately ceased as everyone turned their attention to Soe, their expressions shifting to seriousness. Soe, the Falmouth army is planning an assault on Tempest. They'll arrive at our borders in 2 days. A shocked silence filled the room, each face reflecting a mixture of surprise, determination, and tension. After a pause, Shizu took a steadying breath, her expression hardening with resolve. Shizu, understood. We need to act quickly. Everyone, meet me in the council room immediately. We'll need a solid defense plan in place. Within minutes, the council room was filled with Tempest's most trusted and formidable defenders. Benimaru, Soe, Hikuro, Kurub and his brothers, Kaijin, Gobta, Rigard, Geld, as well as Rain, Kaguli, Gabwa, Goblina, Shion, Shuna, Soka, and Shizu gathered, prepared to organize Tempest's response. Shizu stood at the front, projecting calm authority as she looked over her allies. Shizu, thank you all for gathering on such short notice. As you've heard, Falmouth's army is due to arrive within 2 days. With Rimuru currently away, I'll be coordinating our preparations. We cannot underestimate our enemy, so we'll need a well-coordinated defense strategy and complete readiness for battle. Benimaru, crossing his arms thoughtfully, we should establish multiple defensive lines around the perimeter of our borders. I'll assign squads to each line and have Father lead the secondary line in case they manage to break through the first. Hikuro, nodding in agreement, I'll have my trainees on high alert and place them as scouts along our borders. Their observations should give us a timely warning of any enemy movement. Kaijin, glancing at his brothers, my brothers and I will reinforce our weapon stores, and I'll coordinate a team to distribute arms and armor efficiently to our fighters. Rigard, stepping forward, his face determined, I'll make sure all non-combatants are moved to safe shelters. Their protection is a priority. Rain, smirking confidently, if the fools dare to attack directly, I'll take position on the front line to provide ranged support. I've been eager for some action. Shizu, nodding firmly, good. Gobta, Rigard, Geld, I need you three to coordinate with the goblin and orc soldiers. Make sure they understand the gravity of this threat and keep morale high. One by one, everyone nodded, their faces showing a determined unity. Shizu surveyed the room, reassured by the dedication reflected in every pair of eyes. Shizu, we have 2 days, so every moment counts. Falmouth's forces may be strong, but with our unity and strength, we'll be ready. Tempest will stand strong and unbroken. Just as everyone was preparing to carry out their assigned roles, Benimaru and Soe unexpectedly stood up, exchanging a glance. Benimaru, hesitantly, Shizu-sama, forgive me, but Lord Rimuru has given us strict orders. Shizu, raising an eyebrow, orders. What do you mean, Benimaru? Benimaru, Lord Rimuru specifically instructed us not to allow any of his fiancés to participate in direct combat. He wants you all to remain safe within the castle. A collective murmur spread among the women, their expressions a mix of frustration and disbelief. Rain, crossing her arms defiantly, and why would he say that? We're not just going to stand by and hide while Tempest is under attack. Soe, bowing slightly, forgive me, but I must insist. Lord Rimuru deeply values each of you and wouldn't want to risk your safety in a battle. Shizu and the others exchanged looks. Though reluctant, they could feel the sincerity behind Rimuru's instructions. One by one, they nodded in understanding, albeit with some disappointment. Shizu, sighing, but smiling softly, very well. We'll respect Rimuru's wishes, this time. But don't think we'll sit idly. We'll do everything we can from here to support the defense. Benimaru and Soe both inclined their heads in gratitude before departing to continue the preparations. The women watched them go, each of them already mentally planning ways they could contribute to Tempest's defense from within the castle. Shuna, smiling with quiet determination, perhaps we can use the communication crystals to relay information to the battlefield. It'll be a challenge, but we're not giving up our part in this fight. Xian, grinning mischievously, and if any enemy manages to breach the castle, they'll regret it. Kagali, nodding, her eyes gleaming, agreed. Let's show them that Tempest's heart is just as fierce as its warriors. They each returned to their duties, committed to defending Tempest in their own ways, all while eagerly awaiting Rimuru's safe return. Next day in Tempest. In the heart of Tempest, the air was strangely quiet. Streets that usually bustled with the movement and laughter of citizens were empty, creating an eerie atmosphere. Shogo, Kyoya, and Karara, the three otherworlders sent by Falmouth, stepped forward, scanning the deserted scene with a mixture of confusion and contempt. Shogo, scoffing, what is this? Did they all run away as soon as they heard we were coming? Some nation they have here, too weak to even face us. Kyoya, smirking, pushing his glasses up, seems like they know their place. Typical of weaklings. They probably evacuated the moment they sensed real power. Karara, chuckling softly, how boring. I was hoping to try my new skill on some of these monsters. Looks like they didn't have the guts to stay and fight. As the three otherworlders exchanged mocking looks, a voice, calm yet laced with authority, broke the silence. Benimaru, I don't know what you were expecting, but the citizens of Tempest are not for you to harm. The three turned to see Benimaru standing tall and resolute, his crimson eyes fixed on them. On either side of him stood Hikuro, his sword resting lightly in his hand, and Hana, another Kijin, her stance firm, her eyes narrowed with quiet fury. Shogo, raising an eyebrow, looking the trio up and down, and who are you supposed to be? Babysitters. The real warriors must have fled with the others. Kyoya, snickering, I didn't expect them to send the backup squad. This will be easier than I thought. Karara, smiling slyly, they're cute, though. Maybe I'll keep one of them as a pet. Hana's hands clenched at her sides, her nails digging into her palms as she struggled to keep her composure. Benimaru's expression darkened, his jaw tightening at their blatant disrespect. Benimaru, voice low but filled with anger, you come to Tempest, a peaceful nation, to harm innocent people, and yet you think you can look down on us. Hikuro, smiling coldly, his eyes sharp as steel, it seems they haven't learned the first rule of battle, never underestimate your opponent. This oversight will be your undoing. Shogo, sneering, flexing his fists, big words from an old man and his underlings. Let's see if you can back them up. Kyoya, his gaze cold, assessing, save your energy. You're outclassed in every way. You have no idea what we're capable of. Benimaru's eyes blazed with a fiery intensity, a slight smirk forming on his lips. He motioned to Hikuro and Hana, giving them a nod. Benimaru, we know what we're dealing with, three arrogant, overconfident fools. You'll find Tempest is not as weak as you think. Hana stepped forward, her eyes locked on the three otherworlders, her voice steady and filled with quiet rage. Hana, you threaten our people, mock our home, and expect us to be afraid. You'll regret stepping foot in our lands. Karara, rolling her eyes, oh, please. Don't waste my time with your little speeches. We could take you down in our sleep. Without another word, Benimaru's aura flared, casting a red glow around him that made the ground tremble slightly. The sheer power radiating from him made Shogo's smug expression falter for a split second. Benimaru, enough talk. You came here to cause trouble, and we'll gladly show you what a mistake that was. Hikuro, Hana, let's show these pests the strength of Tempest. Hikuro, drawing his sword, his tone deadly calm, it would be my pleasure. Hana, smiling fiercely, I've been waiting for a real fight. Let's see if these otherworlders are as strong as they claim. The three otherworlders glared at them, taken aback by the intensity of the Tempest warriors before them. Shogo clenched his fists, Kyoya narrowed his gaze, and Karara's sly smile faded. Shogo, gritting his teeth, fine, then. You want a fight? We'll crush every last one of you. Benimaru, smirking, you're welcome to try. But this will be the last mistake you make. With that, the battle lines were drawn. The otherworlders charged forward, brimming with arrogance and fury, while Benimaru, Hikuro, and Hana stood their ground, ready to defend Tempest with everything they had. The clash of power was imminent, and the otherworlders would soon learn just how grave an error it was to underestimate Tempest. The tension in the air was thick as the battle began. Shogo, Kyoya, and Karara unleashed their full power, charging forward with confidence, but Benimaru, Hikuro, and Hana remained unshaken, ready to defend their home. Benimaru vs. Shogo. Shogo charged at Benimaru, his fists crackling with energy as he unleashed a furious barrage of punches. Shogo, laughing arrogantly, think you can take me on? You're just another monster I'm going to crush. Benimaru, dodging effortlessly, his eyes cold, is that so? Let's see if you're still laughing after this. With a swift movement, Benimaru struck back, his katana blazing with crimson fire as it slashed through the air. Shogo barely managed to block, but the impact sent him skidding backward, his expression shifting from confidence to shock. Shogo, gritting his teeth, panting, "Damn you. How are you so strong?" Benimaru, smirking, raising his blade again, because, unlike you, I have something worth fighting for. Tempest doesn't take kindly to invaders. Shogo attacked again, desperation in his eyes, but Benimaru deflected every blow with ease. Finally, with a swift slash, he knocked Shogo to the ground, leaving him gasping for air. Hikuro vs. Kyoya. Meanwhile, Kyoya circled Hikuro, his all-seeing eye skill active, analyzing every possible move Hikuro might make. Kyoya, smirking, you can't hide anything from me, old man. I can see every move you're about to make. Hikuro, chuckling softly, is that so? Then perhaps you should see this coming. In an instant, Hikuro vanished from Kyoya's line of sight. Kyoya's eyes widened as Hikuro appeared behind him, his sword flashing in a blur. Kyoya, whipping around in panic, what? How? But it was too late. Hikuro's blade sliced cleanly through Kyoya, his movements too fast to counter. With a final gasp, Kyoya's head separated from his body, rolling to the ground as his lifeless body collapsed. Hikuro, cleaning his sword, looking down with disappointment, for all your sight, you were blind to your own arrogance. Hana vs. Karara. Hana and Karara faced off, the air between them charged with tension. Karara smirked, reaching out her hand to cast her bewitch skill. Karara, grinning slyly, let's see you resist this, girl. I'll make you my puppet. Hana, laughing, crossing her arms defiantly, your cheap tricks won't work on me. Karara's spell washed over Hana, but Hana remained unaffected, her eyes blazing with confidence. In a blur, she closed the distance, striking Karara with a powerful kick that sent her flying backward. Karara, gasping, struggling to get up, impossible, how could you? Hana, walking toward her slowly, voice cold, because unlike you, I don't need to rely on tricks to win. With a final, crushing blow, Hana knocked Karara unconscious, leaving her lying limp on the ground. With Kyoya's head rolling on the ground, Karara unconscious, and Shogo kneeling in defeat, fear began to creep into Shogo's heart. He looked up at Benimaru, realizing just how outmatched he was. Shogo, panting, voice trembling, I didn't sign up for this. I thought this would be easy. Falmouth didn't tell us Tempest was this powerful. Benimaru, raising his blade, eyes cold and merciless, then you should have thought twice before stepping into our lands. Just as Benimaru was about to finish him off, a bright flash filled the area. From the light, a figure emerged, Raisin, the powerful mage from Falmouth, with a cold smirk on his face. Raisin, chuckling, that's enough, Benimaru. I can't allow you to kill him just yet. Benimaru, narrowing his eyes, and who are you supposed to be? Raisin, bowing mockingly, I am Raisin, advisor and mage of Falmouth. And I suggest you surrender now. My power is more than a match for any of you. Hana stepped forward, laughing dismissively. Hana, smirking, voice dripping with sarcasm, oh, really? So you're just another fool who thinks he can defeat us. Bring it on. Raisin's eyes flashed with irritation, but he forced a calm smile. Raisin, you'll regret mocking me. This isn't over, and you've just made a dangerous enemy. With a flick of his hand, Raisin cast a spell, surrounding himself and Shogo in a shimmering barrier of light. In a flash, they both vanished, leaving the defeated battlefield silent once more. Benimaru, sheathing his sword, shaking his head, let them come. We'll be ready for them, and next time, they won't get away so easily. The defenders of Tempest looked around at the aftermath of the battle, their resolve only strengthened by the victory. They knew that Falmouth's interference was far from over, but with each victory, their unity grew stronger, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead.